I am just about to set out for my first ride back to work. It's Monday morning, it's about 7:25 a.m. I would say it's about a crisp 15-16 degrees at the moment. There's a light breeze, but otherwise it is an absolutely stunning day. The sun is shining, there isn't a cloud in the sky. Overall, it's pretty stunning. My trusty steed is ready to carry me to work. I did a quick checkup last night, made sure the tires were at pressure, oiled the chain, checked everything over, made sure the brakes were good. It's been about a month since I last rode to work. The beginning of December I came down with a bout of the flu, which meant I stopped cycling for a couple of weeks while I was homesick, and I was still feeling a bit crook for the following week. So by that time we were coming up on the Christmas holidays, so I haven't really ridden in some time. So this morning's ride shouldn't be too bad. The morning ride in is actually fairly easy. I've got a short ride up the hill, and then I'm down the other side of the hill, which is about a 7-kilometer roll into town with traffic and other things to deal with, but overall it's actually a pretty pleasant ride. Coming home, I go the other way, and that's the big climb up the hill at the end of the day. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, that was a bit hard, but not too bad. Quite nauseous on the takeoff, had to stop for a minute, but otherwise actually a pretty beautiful ride in. Nice day, wonderful weather. As you can see now, I am in the scenic parking garage underneath my office building. Yeah, overall, I'm feeling pretty good. We'll see how I feel after the ride home. That's the hard one. Right, I'm on my way home now. I'm just riding around the Wellington waterfront. From there I'll head up Tory Street, and from Tory Street to Tasman Street, which is a bit of a hill, and then down the other side of Tasman Street I'll head through Newtown, and then from Newtown up Ridderford Street up to Mount Albert Road, which is a nice big climb, and then I'll be home. Just thought I'd stop and film here because this is one of my favorite parts of the ride. It is an absolutely stunning location on an absolutely stunning Wellington day. I've got the piers behind me. This is the other side of the waterfront. I'll ride along that path. Across the way there you can see the National Museum of New Zealand, Te Papa. I'll be turning right at Te Papa and heading onto the road from here. I love this stretch of road and I love cycling through here, but I also hate it because it's, on days like today, absolutely packed with people, which means you ride kind of slow and you try not to hit anyone, especially kids running past you at the playground. If I have to walk, I walk, but generally speaking, it is a shared pedestrian and bike cycleway. It's just, let's say that neither group is particularly courteous to the other, so it can be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, this is a little slice of New Zealand heaven that I get to ride through every day. So I'm about 27 minutes into my ride. I've just finished riding from the waterfront to Te Aro, up Tasman Street into Newtown, and I'm in Berhampore now. I've just finished riding through Newtown, and I've just come up the hill from Ridderford Street, which is behind me. So see all those buildings off in the distance? That's where I came from. I've got a little downhill stretch here, and then a nice straightaway, and then it's all uphill to the top of the hill. It's a bit of a climb from here. Okay, I am 2/3 of the way up the hill, quite winded. I normally get winded by this, so this isn't actually irregular. I'm just having a bit of a go today. It's pretty warm. I think it's about 25 to 28 degrees. Behind me, over the hills there, you can see the city. That's where I just came from. Looking in the other direction, sort of southwest, that is the Cook Strait, and Island Bay is the suburb that you see in front of you. That's my suburb. I live on the hill to the left, which I'm in the process of cycling up. Not much further to go. Probably about another 50 to 80 meters of climb over about a 500-meter distance. Come quite a ways up though. At this point I think I'll have climbed about 130, maybe 150 meters. I'll check on my app when I get home. One more pan. That's where the road I just came up. It's a bit of a twisty-turny, S-bendy kind of road, so unfortunately I can't give you a clean shot of it without a drone or something. And there is the city, looking very, very pristine off in the distance. The city of Wellington. Just a quick update to talk about my food. For breakfast I had a cheese scone from a local cafe with a flat white pat of butter. For lunch I had steamed bok choy with crispy pork belly and basmati rice. Turns out the pork belly is actually pretty high in calories, about 500 calories per 100 grams, so I think I'll be keeping that to a very, very rare once in a while treat. And lastly, for dinner, I had a prawn massaman curry, served over basmati rice, with about half of a garlic naan. So, overall not too bad. I had about 4 flat whites over the course of the day. Realized I'm blowing probably 500 calories a day drinking flat whites. So decided I'm making a big change and switching to drinking long blacks. For those who don't know, a flat white is a particularly popular beverage here in New Zealand. It's basically an espresso coffee with about 60 ml of milk added to it. The milk is steamed and folded rather than frothed, as opposed to a cappuccino, which is normally fluffy. A long black is effectively a black coffee. It is about that much hot water with a double shot of espresso brewed into it over the top. It has a nice little crema on it, which is great, and it's a nice drinkable black coffee. So the nice thing about those is I can have a few of them, and the only thing I really have to worry about is how much caffeine I'm having, because there's not much else to them. They're only about 1 calorie each. So I'll be doing that ongoing. It's a bit of a transition, cutting away from flat whites, which I've been drinking pretty religiously for about 15, 20 years now. So that'll be a big change. Otherwise, yeah, it was a good day. We had, gosh, about, I want to say well over an hour's worth of cardio on my cycle commutes, which is easy at some points and intense at others. I have thought about adding more of a high intensity interval routine to my cycling, but it's a bit tricky when you're riding in traffic. You kind of have to go with the flow. So I have added a hill on Tasman Street to the ride, which does add a bit more effort to the ride. And the other thing I'll do as my strength gets better is ride up the hills in a higher gear, which will make it a bit more challenging as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the riding videos I added, and I'll try and do more of that in the future. Eventually I'd love to capture some actual action cam footage of my actual riding, but let's focus on getting the fundamentals done first.